All right, we're here. Game 5. Lemon Storm. Mega Man Pikachu. Um, I've got Ninja set encoding in the background. Now it's gonna take forever because I've got this heavy software running. But I was too impatient to wait for it to be over, so we're just gonna review this right now. Have I already looked at the game and kind of seen what I'm gonna talk about? No. So we're just doing it on the spot. That's how I usually do it. Gonna look into situations, gonna look at decision makings or lack thereof. So let's get into it. Pikachu, we don't want to get hit, but we also kill him at like 5%. Okay, that's the best we got. Hollow Bastion is the stage. If you couldn't tell, you're welcome. Alright. Instantly throwing out Metal Blade, which is okay. He is going to retreat there. Maybe that's something you already know. The bad thing about only looking at game 5 is that we don't have context. Like, I don't know what his other openers were, etc., etc. I don't know. We don't see how he's been playing. But, to be fair, if he decided to hold forward at the start, he just short hops that Metal Blade, and you take 50% because you instantly decide to press a button. Like, Metal Blade is not bad, but it also has to be used really particularly because, like, the reason why I don't press that many buttons with Mega Man is 99% of the time, Mega Mans, when I see them getting punished, it's like they're too comfortable with their moves, like throwing out Metal Blades and Lemons, and they're just getting called out for it. So, I mean, you've got a lot of end-lag on that. Just be careful. Alright, you're going to challenge Jolt with approaching Lemons, which is pretty bold, but you do get away with it. It's kind of a hard option to deal with, but at the same time, you want to be careful just because, like, you're approaching with, like, a really flimsy force, if that makes sense. Like, I'm sure he can just, if he had thrown out, like, an aerial there, I'm sure it's going to eat your Lemons and you're going to, you know, get combo started. And when, like, the goal of the matchup is don't get hit, that's not good. Like, if you see that T-Jolt, you know, you don't have to push the advantage. Even if you close space, you don't have to necessarily, like, walk through him like that. But it did work out. I'm just letting you know. Kind of risky. Alright. Landing Leaf Shield, also not bad. I mean, it's going to work here. Sort of. Yeah. Obviously, I'll just say this now. This is a lot of you going through Lem0nade's perspective, so if you are Storm happening to see this, or a Storm supporter, Storm secret coach, unfortunately, it's not really going to be through Storm's lens. So, yeah, anyways. Yeah, I don't know if Storm could really challenge that. It was honestly a pretty good option. I mean, what you going to do against Landing Leaf Shield? It is something he can catch on to, but honestly, Pikachu probably doesn't have the best options versus fighting Leaf Shield anyways, so Loki probably could have used that more. I don't know if his aerials go through it, but I feel like they probably don't. Even stuff like when if I'm challenging Leaf Shield, like a lot of my aerials do go through it because they're really long, but Pikachu's might not. And like I could challenge Leaf Shield with like Shadow Ball, which is really deadly, or Disable, or like my F Smash and stuff. Like for Pikachu, I feel like he really only has like F Smash. I feel what I'm trying to say is I feel like you could low-key probably abuse this shit more. Alright, well let's go ahead and make it safe. He's running in. Damn, this is a tough situation. Okay, this is one reason why you might not want to abuse Leaf Shield. If you're Mega Man in this spot, I mean, I guess like Shield is the best option, but he gets a lot of grab. Honestly, this is in very tricky situations where you're just like mad disadvantage. Like if you dash back, you're probably gonna get outsped and caught. If you jump, there's a good chance you get caught by, like you're just guessing that he's not gonna do forward air. It's almost like a pseudo 50-50 where like if you shield he could grab, if you don't shield he could fair, whether it's dash back or jump. The best option here, because I doubt he reads it, like this is something that can be caught onto, so you gotta be careful. But honestly, I would roll in or rush, to be honest. Rush might be too slow. I'm not sure what frame is. Roll out would be the same thing as dashing back, basically, so I wouldn't do that. And spot dodge is going to get caught by forward air. Or up tilt, honestly, like, unless he runs up and holds shield, up tilt's going to win. Like, okay, it sounds really stupid. Honestly, okay, in this, at 0%, not the best. But Loki, if he was at 40, I would do up tilt. Or down tilt, maybe. At least that way you're challenging his option with your own. And, like, if he does do fair, your down tilt probably low profiles. If he grabs, down tilt probably wins. So it'd be like, dash attack would be the only threat. And I think his dash attack is a little slow. I'm not totally sure, though. But anyways, let's see what he decides to go with. Okay, so you are going to choose shield, which was risky because he could do grab, which I think is how he starts loops. Shield is probably like the next best option, so probably like your third or fourth best option. It's not bad, it's just like it becomes a 50-50. Like, are you going to jump or are you going to shield? Plus, Pikachu has a lot of really good stuff. This is something that you want to note if he's constantly shielding after he does these safe aerials. These are going to be like minus, like, I don't know how minus they end up being, but really crazy. Forward air, I think, ends up being close to like -4. I don't think it gets up to -2, but it's something really crazy. Back air, I'm sure, is close to that. But either way, like, it's still not like he has frame advantage or anything. So you can still call out this next move. The roll in here is pretty okay. The only thing is, like, you're rolling into him, so like if he just reacts here, you get nared and then comboed. It would probably be better to roll out, but yeah, I mean, just keep, like, you know, like, he's not doing aerial, he's doing aerial shield. Granted, this is like the second interaction of the game, but if we see that later, that's something you should be taking advantage of. Oh, he does aerial on your shield, you can go get a free grab, and you can even like shield on purpose if he's gonna pick, you know, aerials over grab, and then you get, you know, in that sense, shield is like a setup of yours. You're shielding so he aerials your shield because you know he's gonna shield afterwards, and you can get a grab in that way. But anyways, so, and he kind of does react to it, so that was pretty risky. If he chooses an air there, I think that hits, but he doesn't, so you got away with it. You're gonna roll back, okay, fair enough. Honestly, the rollback was fine. You're in a pretty tough spot. Yeah, the roll-in wasn't good in the first place, so might as well just reset. It looks like you both are going to reset. You did have stage control, so, you know, not necessarily the best option. If you just, like, had waited for a second and reacted, that's big, because he's cornering himself. This is something you want to take note of as well. He did this at the very beginning of the game, too. Look at where he's T-jolting. Like, obviously it's at this angle, but what I'm mostly saying is, like, he's, like, this is the stage. He's off stage, you know? If you forward air him here, sure, I get it. It's Pikachu, he's hard to edge guard. Although, Mega Man has good tools for it. Anyways, you know, it's like, if you, like, back air or forward air, I think Mega Man has some decent options, kind of like Mario Fireball. They can just go through it and hit Pikachu / Mario for it. Like, that's big stage control wise, starting to force him to T-jolt back. You'll learn his T-jolt habits, or not T-jolt, up B, whatever it is, quick attack. And even if not, like, if instead of, because he rolled back, which is fine, he's in shield at burst range. Like, if he's shielding there, I wonder if we can go back. Oh my gosh, we're gonna go all the way back. Alright, whatever, that's fine. But I feel like he doesn't necessarily... So his back is turned towards you, right? Like, just, honestly, like, just react here, you know? Like, the best he could do... Okay, pretend he's still in shield. The best he can do is, like, back air out of shield, which, like, it's a tricky option, but you can react as he's pizzaing over towards you, and you can, like, dash back Metal Blade, or even if you want to do, like, a slingshot fair or something, or, like, I don't know, but, like, he doesn't have like immediate burst range threats. It's not like he's gonna dash attack and it's gonna or something. I guess he could like up B maybe if he's feeling bold, but like realistically he's gonna have to like dash or like somehow close this space. So like, and his well, okay, his back turn towards you is good for most characters. Pikachu's back air is pretty good, so it's a little different. But you should prey off this situation, realizing like, oh, we're at burst range and he has his back towards me. If he gets antsy throwing back airs out, you can just dash in, dash out, and like hard bait a back air. That's a really good thing with characters with good back airs, like Mega Man's. If you just like run around his back, like 99% of them are gonna back air out his shield because they're too used to it working. And then you get a hard punish off it. So, but yeah, like I get the idea of like just resetting, and it's not bad. Like it's not like you're losing interaction, but you are losing opportunities. Especially because if you do decide to react here, of course, the option he chooses is to run to the corner and T-Jolt, which if you follow that, even if you don't go for a direct punish, like if you just follow this to the space, like you can start zoning him. And I think a lot of people think Mega Man does really well at mid-range. I think Mega Man does really well at mid-range. He does a good job of like keeping you away from places versus like he isn't necessarily always great at forcing his way in. Like landing fair is okay. A lot of his areas are mid if you're like trying to force your way in, but if you're just trying to like keep someone from coming back, I think a lot of his tools are really good. And that's where he really thrives in advantage. So if you're just like here, even if you aren't pressing buttons, like you're going to force him to do stuff. And like notice his kind of what we were saying earlier, like the angles he takes with his aerials, you know. It's not even a Storm thing, it's more of a Pikachu thing where they go in and then they like go back and down. That's something where just like dash back Metal Blade, dash back F Smash works. And like you want to be careful because those dash back projectile habits get called out really easily. But if you're in this corner forcing him to pick a spot, one, you're going to find out what his corner options are, what he usually does when he's afraid. Does he roll in? Does he like to jump high and try and go over that way? He's Pikachu, so he probably likes to abuse his dumb aerials. And that's not safe. That's ways you can keep your momentum going. You know, pressure him a little bit with a couple lemons, and then when he goes for, you know, that, like, if you just dash back, when he goes for that forward aerial, back aerial, you can do Metal Blade. You can keep doing lemons if you want to be safe. If he tries to T-Jolt, you can just back air through it, and you can just keep him in this spot. And like, I think that's one area Mega Man's really strong at. And that way you don't have to like do this whole redo neutral where you're gonna have to like try and win advantage again versus these. And you're gonna have, like now you're gonna have to kind of play neutral again, like force your way in versus where like he's literally giving you stage control. He's giving you advantage state here. So. Alright, so this is more of what I expected the first time he did T-Jolt, kind of like staying away, you know, not forcing anything. It is important to notice that he does back air there, so maybe he's trying to expect you coming in again. We'll see how he changes it this time. He's going to shield. Now he's just dashing in, so he's kind of been doing different things every time you've dealt with T-Jolt. You are dealing with T-Jolt the same way, so you're kind of letting him learn how to fight it. And now we're in a similar spot as before where like he's dashing towards you and it's going to become, you have better frames this time. Like you can double jump and like he's going to have to hard call you out. Double jump's really good here because like the only real winning option he has is like a true call out. Or like rush is pretty good. Or really lemons. Metal Blade I wouldn't do. The thing is, okay, his likely Pikachu, if he's in this spot for almost any situation where he's running at you, it's probably dash attack, grab, or either back air / forward air. Earlier, you shielded through it, so if he knows what's best for him, he probably grabs here, and then he sees, like, okay, are you going to be picking the same option every time, or are you going to be mixing stuff up? Although I think you had your back face towards him last time, so that's going to make you more likely to shield. But anyways, so that's what you need to be worried about. Now, Mega Man forward air does cover this range, which is going to beat all of his options there, basically. The biggest issue is if he has the control to, you know, like whiff punish. Like he could just stop and then whiff punish you for the forward air. And stuff like that. Lemons, I think it's too close for lemons because it's like you either... First of all, he probably goes through it, but either, if you choose lemons here, like, you could jump over them or go underneath. So fair is your best option coverage space. Metal Blade I don't think is smart. He'll accidentally catch it probably, or he'll just punish you for the end lag. Leaf Shield, maybe. But I don't know, maybe his aerials do go through Leaf Shield. I would say Leaf Shield, forward air, and then just like figure out like if he's charging at you, is he likely going to just keep charging, or is he going to, stall with movement tricks? Because let's say he does decide to run and then he stops. Now you can get away with like Metal Blade or lemons, if you're become confident that he's going to do, like he's not going to finish this dash forwards, then the threat becomes, more distance, and you can kind of gain some advantage from that. You kind of have to gain advantages in the small ways here. So rather than trying to gain advantages by like directly winning, I guess, versus like your moves versus his moves, you can do things like if you're able to sufficiently stuff out fair dash attack grab with your fairs, then by forcing him to like do movement mix-ups, you're now allowing access to your other tools. Now you can use Metal Blade and lemons, and you're basically setting up a separate situation where, if you're able to use like lemons and stuff at this distance, you're forcing him to play at mid-range is what I'm kind of trying to say. And then he'll be forced to choose other options like full hop and whatever, which you can punish harder, if that makes sense. But he is going to run in and do bear, so like I said, double jump, very good option there because he would have had to do a full commit. I liked fair there also. Because like I said, you want him to not feel comfortable being able to close the gap like that. You want him to start doubting himself, so he'll stay farther away in fear of being wrong, which lets you play your game at mid-range. And then Leaf Shield, not bad. Like I was saying earlier, I think it probably does pretty well here. I think he has no double, so that's really smart. Now we're at ledge. One place where I've seen you really struggle lately is here. Okay, first of all, that. Wow, it worked. Okay, but still, that. It's going to win versus jump and maybe normal get up, but I don't think it does. The problem is, if he stays at ledge there, you're just getting punished with like a nair or a fair, and he can probably drag down from here or up air, like he can start combos off of this. Same thing if you roll. It's just too long. It's too long to reactable. And at low percents, they're going to have more ledge invincibility, so like he could just sit on ledge and it's not gonna get through his invincibility. If this is like 100%, 90%, I respect it more. I think it's a better option at higher percents. It's more likely you're gonna hit him off ledge, and people are gonna be more scared. But and at like 25 or 20 or whatever it was, like it's not gonna cover this option. And although it did work, I still think normal get up might beat it. And if he's just more patient, you could take more than the damage you've dished out just on a punish on this. I mean, you're at 0, so anyways. Okay, so you've seen that he's going low. I wouldn't down air here. Right now, probably Leaf Shield or you could throw out Metal Blade in order to do like Leaf Shield cancel. Just like start setting up here. The second full hop is low-key pointless because it ends up like you're just kind of stalling instead of like setting something up. Obviously he's not going to go high there, so you aren't really threatening anything either. Like he's just ignoring what you're doing right now, and you're just putting yourself in there for no reason. And then there it is again. Obviously you don't get punished this time, but he even chose jump, which is what that option should have in theory covered. Definitely shouldn't have done it twice in a row. I mean, okay, we can say that in hindsight, but the thing is, it was like a low percentage option in the first place, like low percentage to work out, and then you kind of did it again. I get like, oh, he won't expect me if I do it again, but it's not that strong of an option to do, I think. Okay. Dang, I kind of wish we went back there. You had him in shield at the corner. That's something else we were talking about earlier. I get you want your space, but you have to realize that like he needs to get space as well. Like, that's on him. You're in control right now, you know? And, like, the way you had this set up, you know, you got to take advantage of. Like, you got lucky, right? Like, you're out of his Nair. He didn't get the combo you off it. And you get stage control because of the mess up. So, you know, you want to take advantage of this. He was in shield, which is better for you if he is in shield, because he can't pick as many options. Regardless, it's dropped to this point. But look at this distance. You have to trust your reactions, right? Like, I know it's scary that he could run up in fair or whatever. And obviously, like, lemons, if you, like, commit to grounded lemons, he could run up and try and challenge it with fair. But I think you got to, you know, take advantage of the situation you've got here. He has to come in, you know. You're learning what he's going to do. Like, obviously, ends up dashing in. That's something you want to note, right? Like, okay, he generally tries closing space with just pure dash. And I think you're at a distance where, like, you can go for grounded lemons and not really be at much of a threat. If he dashes in and you have grounded lemons, it could interrupt his dash. And if he, you know, jumps early, you can react in time and switch to aerial lemons. Plus, this is, like, the very edge of his burst range. If you're just standing here and, like, lemon vertically up, like, you don't even go forwards at all. Like, if he does this forward air, even if he eats through your lemon, he's probably landing, like, here. Like, you can just drift back a little bit. And like, you're in a fine spot and he's landing lag or whatever. And maybe he auto cancels or whatever, but I mean, like, in that case, I would say, like, okay, he got too close, let me get some space. But here, like, you have to recognize the situation. Like, his burst options aren't really threatening you, so you can take your time and react here, and, like, learn, like, how is he going to try and close this gap? When he has to close this gap, what is he gonna do? And we learn that it's, you know, dash in like that. So if you had done those grounded lemons, that's gonna cover that. It's going to force him to pick an uncomfortable option. He might mess up a spacing, and then you keep him in the corner like this. But obviously you're going to guess high, which kind of makes sense. Notice how this is something else you want to take into account. Okay, he's dashing and shielding. Something else you can take advantage of. We're going to burn our double jump here. Like, one thing that I'm kind of seeing is you're playing really afraid. Like, you're too afraid to trust in yourself. Because once again, it's like, you kind of are able to react to what he's doing here. Like, you don't have to play this far away. You're getting such little reward off it. Something Peanut has said lately is that he has gone for lemons less and less, which, you know, I obviously have never overused lemons that much since Smash 4, basically. But he's saying, like, the opportunity cost of it, like, what you're giving up for going for lemons is just too great, where it's, like, not worth it. And, like, kind of the same thing. Like, these lemons should generally be to, like, kind of, not even to, like, keep him away, but, like, to be like, okay, like, if he's dashing and you lemon him, like, no, you're not dashing in. Like, pick a different option, and then punish him for picking another option. It's very likely that you can just dash underneath his fair and stuff, and his bear, honestly. I'm not totally sure, but I honestly bet you can. That's something you got to look into, but if that's the case, you know, you can just bait out that forward air and literally just run. Run underneath it and punish him, because the hitbox is going to be, like, I think it's actually above and below him. It's really weird, but regardless, like, there should be a little bit of a blind spot behind. Anyways, like, you're burning all these resources, just like, oh gosh, like, he's too close, let me, like, find some space. Oh, shoot, like, there's no more stage to run away to? Okay, I'm gonna go in the air and find space that way. But now, like, he's in a really good place to frame trap you, or, like, force you off stage and just, like, fuck you up, basically. You do have Leaf Shield as a really good landing option. I still haven't seen him really successfully challenge it well. I just realized that my mouse isn't showing up on the recording, so all the times I've been making, like, gestures with the mouse, you haven't seen it, but whatever. But yeah, so Loki just Leaf Shield landing again is probably not necessarily your best option, but until he figures out a way to get around it, it's not bad. Or you could just circle around that way, but he's kind of in control of this space now because you gave it to him. So, alright. Storm clearly did not refresh in time because that backer makes no sense, and you're going to get over for free, so that's good. Notice how, okay, I guess you were in a spot where he was like, oh gosh, he could backer through the stage, but it's kind of being ingrained in his dashes now where like, he's like starting to dash shield, right? This one you can take advantage of. Even like right there, if you landed with Leaf Shield or something, he's probably dropping shield there. Or at the very least, you know, like Leaf Shield's obviously really safe, so that's opportunity to kind of like force him back. Or force him into an awkward spot. And like I said, as Mega Man, I think you need to kind of start like understanding how he deals with those awkward spots and like taking advantage of him for it. Also, just as a note, like you jump here, if you see him come up, like just jump away or rush or something, or air dodge, I guess, but there you like, he's following you like this, like he's obviously going to try and catch your landing or something. Like you have this time where he's following you, like it's the quote-unquote campy thing to do, but there's no pressure to, like, whatever, you're in winners finals, just jump away, like run away again. If you jump over here, just run all the way back to the other side of the stage. If he tries to follow you, just keep doing it till he starts approaching. I don't care, but there's no reason to be like, oh gosh, like, oh my gosh, we have 6 minutes and 35 seconds. I better land before we go to sudden death, like, you know. But anyway, so obviously it looks like he's about to get something going. Okay, good rush. You should have. I'm pretty sure you have your double jump here. Okay, he figured out how to punish Leaf Shield. Now we have to be careful of it. That back air, not good, but we get away. Here's an end lag of dash tech. You're not going to be able to punish that with back air. Maybe up smash, but like low key. Roll behind is mid. Like, I think there's no way he expects roll behind here. I think roll away and just like reset though. That's probably what you'll do. Yeah, there's the roll behind. Okay, you both roll behind actually. That was a big thing. Like, if Storm is being aware of what he's doing, like he realizes he whiffs dash tech and you're not in a place to punish, like his mind should be like, oh, this guy's about to roll behind or like roll towards stage. Like Storm should honestly punish you there, but he was afraid to. Dang, that pokes? That's kind of stupid. Alright, anyways. Yeah, so this all basically started from that bad back air you had when you're off stage. And a couple unfortunate things happened to get you here, but you know, like, and honestly, like that back air could have hit, but it was a mis-execution and like it was a greedy back air, you know. I think in a lot of these situations, like, you've got to trust yourself to win situations. Like, I feel like you're trying to be like overly opportunistic, like, oh gosh, there's an opening, I need to get a hit. But like, you don't need to. Like, you got to trust yourself. Like, if you reset the situation, you got to trust that you'll win, you know, the next one. Anyways, roll away, good up air. That was a really good play. Bad on Storm for overcommitting. He's burned his double jump. He has Pikachu. I would go for back air here. Okay, now I would probably retreat. Well, he doesn't have a double. Fuck it, go for it. Okay. Oh shit. Maybe I'm wrong. Alright. You may have died. Okay, you lived. That advice was debatable, but alright, so yeah, the only thing he can do is he has to quick attack. He quick attacks or air dodges. You obviously want to swing at the quick attack because if he air dodges, like, you're going to have enough time to get back safely. Low-key the right option, you just mistimed it. And you almost died for mistiming it, so don't ever mistime it again, I guess. Anyways, alright, so good option in the scrap zone. Not terrible. If you knew he was going to Thunder Jolt there, then I guess that's pretty good because you're, well, okay, you didn't follow the drift. Yeah, see, I had a feeling you're just trying to set up some BS. Like, that's what it kind of worked out, but like Storm also picked a really bad greedy option that he shouldn't have. Really, that rush setup seems kind of pointless, and he could have just punished you for being in rush and leg. So I'm kind of mixed on that. But anyways, all right. Metal Blade there is mid. I don't know. Metal Blade seems like just not that great in this matchup. But you are gonna not get hit, so that's cool. But you just could have. You could have. If anything, like, I don't know. You want to use Metal Blade in more confident situations. Like, you're confident he's going to be on the ground. You're confident. Or, like, you know, to catch certain, like, jumping angles. Like, if you see he's going to T-Jolt, maybe you Metal Blade upright or something. Anyways. You're going to dash back shield because of T-Jolt, which I guess is... Or quick attack, which is fine. Once again, like, look how he's going to the corner here. This is the second time. At this point, you just kind of know, like, if you get, like, some space, and if you react and see he doesn't dash towards you, he's probably going to the corner to T-Jolt. Okay, the F smash, very smart technically, but look, you know, like I said, since you're, you know, when the space is created, you also decide to run to the corner to create reset neutral and create space. Like you guys have created way too much space. You know, now this F smash is a really smart move and takes a stock and gets you up a stock with 60 on you. You know, now you're out of range because you took yourself out of range. This is really smart. If you see him go up, like, you want to be right here and start F smashing because you know it's gonna work. Like, the idea is really good, a really smart thing to do in this situation, but because you have this habit of running away to quote unquote create space instead of just reacting, then, you know, like, and you've, like, now he knows to look out for it too. Also, it kind of looks like you didn't exactly do it for the same reason that you should have, considering you did it 3 times. Like, the reason why F smash works there is because he's gonna be, like, landing in that spot after T-Jolt. It's not because he's gonna, like, dash in to get hit by your F smash, especially when you do it 3 times. So. Not that you're really at risk, like, but however, you might be at risk going for this full hop approach versus Pikachu. Obviously, it looks like he's picking quick attack, but this, I feel like, okay, in different, like, different matchups have different angles that are good for certain characters. If Pikachu's on the ground here with all options available and you're approaching at this angle with all options available, you're doing what we talked about earlier, where you're like the game we don't want to play is challenging his moves with our moves. So when you're, like, setting yourself up for this kind of approach, that exact approach, basically, like, you're basically saying, like, okay, like, I'm confident in what you're gonna do, and I think my move is better. Which, to be fair, Forwarder probably does win head-to-head versus some of those, but Pikachu, like, he could have just done full hop forward air, full hop nair or something, because you're forced to delay your move, so he could have just really easily called you out on that. Or he could have just called you out on your landing. I just, like, this is a huge committal, is basically it. It's slow because you're full hopping and you're coming back down. You started, like, all the way over, maybe over here or something, but, like, you're not giving yourself a lot of room to, like, pull back and space yourself. Like, you're kind of just holding forward. And if you hadn't already pressed a button, you know, it's like, it's just really risky for no reason. The big thing would be, like, okay, earlier after he did T-Jolt, he dashed in, so, like, it makes sense maybe you're looking for dash in. But I think it's too risky. I don't think we have enough data to really confidently go for that. Not that it's a bad option, like, you could have picked worse, but, you know, like, if he had been reacting like that full hop, you can really see that it's a full hop. So yeah, like I said, I think the best thing we can be doing is just staying at mid-range, like, right outside of his burst range, where his burst options aren't really all that threatening, and then just, like, forcing him to pick, and then whiff punishing him for it. But Alright, so once again, you're afraid you're creating space. Your back is turned, but like literally just turn around here. And once again, the same thing from earlier. Like, he's in shield. You can just be lemoning at point blank, and he doesn't have a good enough option. Even if he holds back with back air, you know, like, you have enough time to just move out of the way and react. Even if you're, like, committed to lemons, you can just, like, jump back. He's got his back turned. He's probably going to roll out. Maybe he doesn't, but if you're pressuring him, he almost certainly is going to roll out or back air. And both of those, I don't think they're good enough options. So if you just turned around and just lemoned, or even just waited and reacted, see what he's going to do. Oh, he back airs? Okay. I can dash attack. I can forward smash. This is a chance where you might want to use, like, you could use Metal Blade, get a confirm into back air. You know, once he commits to these options, they're really good because they auto cancel. They don't have a lot of lag, but they kind of take while he's like swinging around like a helicopter. You know, it's like if you're looking for it, you have time to react. You know, it's not like a swift like sword swing. It's like he's flying around you. You know, you're like, oh, there it is. Okay, I know I can press my button now. But anyways, so yeah, he's gonna see that you dash out, so he doesn't feel the need to roll away. And here it comes again, the situation that you're afraid of. The past few times he's just really done dash. You are in the corner, so these short hop aerials become really good in the corner. You haven't rolled in once. I really think you should roll in right now. You're gonna take stage control, and you're forcing him to react to it. He wants to just run in. Lemons, like earlier, probably aren't that good. Forward air is probably your best option. Even rising forward air is gonna hit him on the ground. So if he's here, like, his forward air is slower than yours. I think his forward air is frame 11. Oh, I guess he has back air, but I don't know if frame back air is. Probably really stupid fast. Regardless, I wouldn't like push forwards. I would just like stay straight up, so that way like you're forcing him, like, even if his back air is frame 4 and it's out right now, you know, like, you're forcing, it'll be like frame 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and your forward air will be out by then. You know, if that makes sense, like, force him to like take extra time coming to you. But yeah, I would go for forward air or just like jump away. You still have time to jump away or rush at this point. Maybe not rush, but at least like jump. Once again, full hop. Full hop only loses to that full committal. Every other option, or dash attack, grab, short hop, forward air, full hop is gonna win versus all of those. So you're forcing him. The thing with that option, like, it's a common one, so it gets called a lot, but it's common because it's good, and it's good because it just wins versus so many options. Like, if Pikachu were picking his option by random, statistically, full hop is just really good. But anyways, yeah, so that's I've seen Leo do this too. Like, even though he is going to go for that, it's so risky because you don't want to take that angle, you know. So a lot of people will swing and they'll pull back because they don't want to end up off stage. They don't want to get reversal. They don't want to be wrong. So even if you go for that full hop option, you still get away with it. And like I said, when I was watching one of Leo's sets, I saw him do that a little bit at ledge. Like, he'll jump up and kind of like, okay, I really wish you could see the mouse, but he'll jump up and like a little bit off the stage almost. So when people try and like punish the jump option, you obviously can't react to it. So they usually they'll aim like right above the ledge, then they'll pull back. So like, you know, Leo will do that, and he was playing a fox named Temptation. So Temptation read the option and tried to punish it, but he pulled back, and Leo got away with it and punished him for it. So there honestly was actually no reason to burn your double here. Obviously you do because it's your favorite thing to do. If you hadn't burned your double, that's like a guaranteed punish. Since you did burn it, he could have just landed, and if you do this fair, you could literally get forward smashed. So it's pretty risky. It's actually a pretty bad landing option, but he's going to be super greedy and get hit with it. Right now he has no double again. Low key, like, you could go challenges with Bear. That Metal Blade shouldn't have worked. that Metal Blade made no sense. But it worked, and he has no double jump and just got hit with Metal Blade. He's probably taking the fastest quick attack option back. But you're, because of the way you position yourself and partially because you like stopped to Metal Blade for a second, I don't really think you have like the best options. Honestly, here I go for a Trump. You know, like see if he's on his toes. He's in a ton of disadvantage. He's not going to want to pick an option quickly, probably. You punished him earlier for being too antsy with his option selection. I would go for Trump here. And that is something I wouldn't do because, like I said, I just didn't feel like you were in a good enough position. Like, he is taking a quick attack route back to stage because, you know, he just got hit with Metal Blade and everything. And you're applying that pressure, but I feel like you didn't. Like, he has too many options with quick attack. Plus, another thing, like we kind of saw earlier in the first ledge interaction, you're like jumping without really having a reason for jumping. And that's not good. Because he, you know, got called out for it right there. Once again, yeah. Okay, I thought he accidentally F-smashed the wrong way, but that's the same landing forward air that we just saw. You know how I said he could have just dash back F-smashed it? There he is, dash back F-smashing it right there. Okay, he's going to look for that and not get it. A pretty ballsy recovery. Storm pulls back again when he has the option. You're in, and like even if you jump there, that's going to hit you. Honestly, if you jump there, that's better for him because that forward air is going to catch it. The air dodge is debatable. Yeah. A little too telegraphed, and he can just react to it. That's just like you need to be a little smarter with disadvantage. Not that it was bad, but it needs to be a little better. Okay. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna say anything yet. I'll just say that the ledge play is not it. That's an area like, in my opinion, that's one of Mega Man's greatest strengths, corner and ledge. And you do really well in a lot of other areas, but you struggle so hard at keeping people in the corner and ledge in general. And when I think Mega Man has some of the best options there, like, it just sucks to see like Storm getting back for free basically, and you're getting reversaled now. The thing is, when we've seen you at ledge, it's been down till the first time, down till the second time, or Storm at ledge technically. And then like this flying halfway across the stage, double jump committal, fast fall back air, that's only going to hit one very specific timing. You picked the right option. But this option, like you guessed Storm's option correctly. But the option you chose only covers like one very specific timing, you know, like literally, if you want to do that, just stand at roll distance, and when you see him move, back air, and then you kill him. And it's going to work for all timings because you're just reacting. These options you're choosing, they're like, not only do they really only cover one option, but they also only cover one timing, and they leave you susceptible to being punished. It's just like, it's just bad. It's honestly just bad. It's better than nothing, I guess, but that's even debatable because with nothing, at the very least, like, you're not putting yourself at risk. Just an area to work on because, like, you should be taking these stocks. Like, a lot of times, if you're struggling to kill opponents, like, this is one way how you're not. Even, like, we saw it versus, was Caden the Cloud? I think it was Caden, but, the Cloud, I think Caden, you know, the same thing, like you should have taken those stocks much earlier, but he's getting away every single time you put him in the corner. He's getting out of it for free. So, and then right here, you know, you're putting yourself at a big risk. It's so bad in this matchup to be just like in the corner versus Pikachu. Like, we already kind of saw how like you're basically forced to pick jump, forward air, and hope that he doesn't mix up his timings or roll in. Like, those are really your only options. If you don't have like space behind you. So we want to stay out of the corner, and we really don't want to be off stage. So going for like extremely high risk ledge trapping options, you know, like low probability ledge trapping options, is just like one way where you're going to guarantee yourself being in the corner. Alright, roll in here is a trap. He might not expect it, but if you start rolling in here, you're going to start getting fucked up. Although it's kind of a 50-50 because if you jump, he could, like, he probably just wants to back at you right now, I'm not going to lie. I would wait and react until you see movement. Like, okay, maybe if you see movement, roll in. If not, like, just, like, trust your reactions, try and react. If he gets a grab, I don't know what he does here, but it can't be that bad, right? I wouldn't commit too early because, well, he wants you to feel afraid and commit early. He wants you to either, like, jump. He probably really wants you to jump so you can back air. He's probably going to swing regardless of what you do. But he also technically could, and or at least should, be looking for roll in to just up smash right here. Like, right here, this is super good for Pikachu, and if the roles were switched, if you're Mega Man, this is also just a really good spot. Like, this is a spot you want to be in. You want to be Mega Man in Pikachu's shoes right here. And then if Pikachu were to roll in, you'd up smash, and if not, you were back air, and it's a kill either way. But yeah, like, it's just a really strong position for people who have good back airs, so. But he's gonna dip. Okay, that's a dub. That's the best thing that could have happened. For him to just give you the corner. And now you're kind of at mid-range. Now his burst options aren't really too threatening. Okay, you're obviously afraid. But you can tell that he's starting to swing a lot now. Like, he wants to catch you jumping. He wants to just, like, you know, get a stock off. He doesn't want this to be drawn out. So this is where, like, if you see him go for those high-risk full hop options, you want to be able to just, like, cover his landings with F Smash or Metal Blade. This is where Metal Blade, F Smash get pretty good versus those type of options. If he starts doing, like, yeah, like right here, like, this is really good. Obviously, there's that platform right there, but wow, I didn't realize. Okay, Quick Attack, very good at saving his life. But regardless, you still want to. I still agree with those options. Plus, Metal Blade, or sorry, not Metal. F Smash will get bigger the more you charge it, so that's something to keep in mind. And if he constantly does that Quick Attack, you can start punishing it. Alright. Metal Blade there kind of didn't make sense. I mean, like, I just don't think it was a great option. It was fine. The best part about it was that, like, you've lemoned this T-Jolt every single time, so at least it's, like, something slightly different. I don't really like shield because you're going to let him close. If you're shielding, he just gets to close. Like, that's what Pikachu wants. Same with Mario when they do these. They want you to shield so they can close the gap. Yeah, okay, good job dropping shield. Okay, you went for a parry, which also lets him close the gap. Look how afraid he is. He's doing these dash shield approaches. There's a good chance he's going to dash shield again. Yeah, there it is. This is a free grab right here. Obviously, you're afraid, so you're going to roll. Now you guys are all rolling. Lots of spaghetti. Random F Smash. Once again, we saw it. We saw it again. You rolled in. Okay, he's in an awkward spot. You can react. Does he dash towards me? No, he doesn't. He dashes away. What's he going to do? He's going to T-Jolt in the corner. You can just F Smash this. Now he's T-Jolting the under corner. And yeah, okay, good. You punished him for it. That's what you want. It can be, like, the bad thing about forward air is, like, you've kind of got to get close, and he can, like, use that against you, but ideally you want to be punishing him for the first T-Jolt before he can really, like, set up, because once he's kind of, like, doing T-Jolt, he can, like, T-Jolt, and then instead of T-Jolting the next time, if you're trying to punish the second one, he can punish you for it. But if you get him before he's, like the T-Jolt is a bait almost. It can be a bait. But if you hit him before he even baits you, then alright. Wow, we haven't even gotten a stock and we're at 45 minutes. What are the odds? Okay, to be fair, if this were a Game 5 thing, I'd probably go a little faster. How long did I take? Actually, that's a lie. It took me an hour and a half to go through Game 1 of the set with Ninja the other day. But I always take really long in Game 1, because Game 1 is where I look at things like every interaction, and then as we go forward, I start just being like, oh, remember that thing from earlier? Here it is again. Which we've kind of already seen when we're like, oh, look, Storm's dashing to the corner, I wonder what he's going to do. Or, you know, like, we already kind of seen stuff repeat. Alright. There we go. That was a good ledge trapping option. Like, that, it can be as simple as that. If you just do that, like, that becomes a 50-50 where, like, if they decide not to jump, you can grab them. And if they decide to jump, you could just, like, react and do up air, forward air, or something. Like, you don't have to do these. Like, this is something you did so much versus Caden. Like, you're just hoping you're just hoping that he's gonna, you know, do these options, and like you're just swinging, which lets him get back up. And Mega Man back air, it's really obviously laggy. This is something I saw Ninja do a ton when he played Mega Man. When Mega Man's, when opponents get high percents, they start using so much Metal Blade, F Smash, and back air, and it kind of takes away their entire neutral because they just get hyper focused on those 3 moves, and they start getting snowballed for it. Like, they are good to set up kills, but like you can't, you know, here come back airs, back air. Like he keeps getting back. How many times have you won the very first? You won twice at ledge, and one of them was the very first one, where it's kind of iffy. Like, I wasn't totally on board. The second time you won was really good. But he's been at ledge like 6-ish times, maybe 7. So you're winning like once every 3 times. You want it to be better than that. Plus, you're so committal that a lot of these times you're getting punished for it. You know. Once again, you're just kind of hoping. Like, you just gave him a free combo, and if he does like Pika loops or something, like let's see. Okay, by some miracle from the heavens, you took like less than 1% from that. But like, you could have taken like 60, because you're, you know, getting desperate for the kill. You're just swinging, and then you fast fall right in front of him. Like, you're gonna need to win neutral, you know. Like, you're seeing these same spots, these same situations with him doing these thunder jolts. Like, he's putting you in the same spots over and over, but you're just like reaching, like you're hoping. It's not even a guess, it's like a hope. Like, I really hope my opponent jumps, because that would be really convenient. He'd run right into my back air. Like, I could sort of see that back air. That back air could be a second thunder jolt, but honestly, if he did another thunder jolt, he probably would have gone more to the corner, so that back air probably misses. And other than that, like, he hasn't really been approaching with full hops. You know, it's just dashes. Not even short hops. Like, every time we're like, okay, he might do like a short hop. Well, okay, he does some short hop airs every now and then, but mostly just dash. So to be like looking for that, I think it's mid. Speaking of which, here he comes, dashing in. Fortunately, he is, okay, speed of the devil, now he decides to swing all in. But you know, like, alright, he's probably swinging here. Last time he did dash up shield, and he just whiffed. So he probably feels confident. You should not be dashing here. You're already in the corner, like, you're already backed up. You're just putting yourself in unnecessary lag. You need to be stuffing out his approaches. If you see he's looking for full hop and he's looking for grounded options, I would probably guess grounded option. Although he might back air. Obviously, like he's in the corner, you know, it's kind of a guessing game, but I think I'd really like to see you at this range where you can still kind of react to his stuff, to not just kind of bend over. Like, I think it would be good to see some lemons here. And if he does get too close, maybe some rising forward airs or something. Like, forward air, if you had already inputted that forward air wins. And he might even die from it, I don't know. That back air, you kind of had the same idea. Like, look, like, well, I don't know. You might not have reacted. You might have just thrown out, but regardless, like, it is still the right idea. You're just choosing like higher risk options to do it. Alright, you guys are really swinging right now. Once again, like, you're running all the way because you're so afraid. You're so afraid of keeping him in the corner, even though he hasn't given, like, you don't have a reason to be afraid of keeping him in the corner. He hasn't like hard reversaled you or anything, except when you've picked like completely terrible options. You know, like, you can just wait, react, like, throw out, like, some lemons. He has to dodge lemons. Even though he's small and hard to hit, like, he has to dodge. If he isn't short hopping to approach you that much, you know? Like, because you're not forcing him to. He gets to just run across the stage most of the time. Because you're letting him, basically. Like, you don't have to be spamming lemons, but you can throw them out to make him to just say, like, pick a different option. And then when he does, you know, like, notice how he's not getting too close with these bears and fairs. He's trying to space them. He's trying to make them safe. He probably doesn't even care if they hit or not, you know. He's just trying to get you to pick something else, like another like out of shield option or something that he can punish. So that's an opportunity you have to just like literally just stand, wait for his move to end in F smash or Metal Blade, or you can challenge it with fair, you know. But like if you're in the corner there, let's go back real quick. So like that almost worked, honestly. Like if you're in the corner here, okay, pretend he hasn't already done that, or let's not even pretend. Like the threat here is that he's gonna hold all the way forward with that aerial, and it's gonna hit you. Which honestly, you still might low profile us standing up. Probably not, but you might. But anyways, like Storm this whole game has been pulling back his aerials. That's been like it's safe for him, but it's been he's lost some interactions because he keeps pulling back here. If you've noticed this, if you're confident here, if you think he's gonna pull back, like you could literally just walk back and fully charge the F smash, and like chances are he's gonna get hit with it because either he runs in which case you just react and let go of your F smash. He does a full hop aerial, which he's gonna have to land. You let go of your F smash like a second ago, except don't miss. Or he does a short hop aerial and pulls back, and then you just let go of F smash. Like it's a high risk option on your end, but if you're confident, which right now we've seen over and over, he keeps pulling this stuff back. Like that's becoming a good option. Or like this is like I said, where you might want to actually use a Metal Blade, or maybe potentially even a dash attack, or like even if you're Lemon here, if you Lemon to cover dash in and he does this back air, you know, he's gonna pull back, so you can still cover his landing with lemons. You know. Anyways. Alright, but yeah, so you're running all the way back because you don't want to keep him in the corner. Even though, like we were saying, like that, I think that's really good. You've got to start challenging these options a little bit because, yeah, he calls you out for running all the way across the stage here. You've given him a lot of opportunities for it. And hold up. And now, like, he's starting combos off it. It's becoming a bad habit of yours. Not only are you giving up these, like, advantage state opportunities, but you're also, you know, now being punished, so. And then another bad landing. That's becoming a bit of a pattern. These landings are not very good, and this is a character who you can't afford to land poorly against. You know, like, a lot of these things aren't Pikachu things. Like, some of the situations are because I'm sure you feel more confident to press buttons versus other characters, but you kind of have to look at the situations on a fundamental level where, like, he can only pick one thing, you know, like it's scary to challenge a lot of these moves, but, like, at the end of the day, on paper, if you go for these forward airs in the corner, he's not really been mixing up his movement, so they're just gonna hit, you know, your hitbox is just gonna win. And, like, here, you know, like, the interactions you're losing because of your landings. You know, this isn't a Pikachu thing. You're landing poorly. Ledge, you know? The way you just basically go from having complete stage control to having no stage control by going for these gigantic committal attacks. This isn't a Pikachu thing. This is just you giving up the entire stage. Then take advantage of the corner. Once again, not a Pikachu thing. You could say, like, oh, maybe he has quick attack. Like, if you try and corner him, you could just pick quick attack away. But he hasn't been. A lot of times he corners himself even more because he goes for these T-jolts in the corner. You know, like, that's just a you thing. You know, you're giving up all this control. Which is, like we saw earlier, hurt you in some scenarios if you try and go for these F smashes that you're now out of range for. Alright, I'm actually about to play Ninja, so we're gonna speed through at the end of this game. We're just gonna look, so what, ledge, giving up opportunities, not pressing the corner, landings. And we'll just look for those 4 things and see, like, if that is a current theme or if things kind of change. Alright. Once again, the gigantic committals. Like, okay. Let me look. I might have missed something, but look how high up this back air is. I think if he does full jump, first of all, like the situation wise, like he was, like whatever, roll distance away, holding shield or something, which before usually he doesn't, like it doesn't make sense that he would go for T-jolt here is what I'm trying to say. But even if he does go for full hop T-jolt, there's a good chance this back air still misses because of how high up it is. Like stuff like this as well, like you're really antsy obviously to get this kill off, but like you're making decisions that don't even make sense. Like this is the only way this hits is if he does if he decides to just randomly double jump for some reason, or maybe if he quick attacks straight up, which like technically there's not a 0% chance he does it, but it's like a 0.0001% option. Like why are we picking when we're down a stock? It's almost 70. Why are we picking 0.001% options? So, all right, we've got T-jolt. He's seeing you coming with your back, so he's probably going to land. Okay, and you called it out, which is fine, but once again, you're doing a gigantic full committal. Storm is, for some reason, respecting your horrendous on shield back air. It was spaced well enough. The good thing you did there was it was spaced well enough to make him doubt, but I low-key think grab probably still would work. Anyways. Alright, I didn't see what you did there. And I don't care enough to reverse. Alright, you've got him in the corner. Here you go. Running away. Look at, well, I wonder what he's gonna do. He's cornered himself. What is he gonna do? Oh wow, what are the odds? And you've got that F smash, but once again, you're out of range again. If you just don't dash back there, literally if you just don't dash, if you just decide to F smash, you kill him. You keep playing these games like you're challenging a second option every time. Like after T-jolt, you're like, okay, I'm gonna get you for what you do after T-jolt, and you keep trying to do that over and over. Like, oh, I think you're gonna jump again after T-jolt, and then he doesn't jump. Oh, I think, you're going to land here, and then, like, you'll be, like, a few frames off with your back air. Like, you keep trying to, like, challenge his second option instead of just taking the true punish that you have on T-jolt with the information that you have. Now you keep doing all these, like, back-facing approaches, which is not great. Looks like you're playing a little reactionary. You saw I didn't jump, so you didn't go for anything, which is good. Alright, you've keeping him in the corner. Looks like he's about to T-jolt. Something you might not be able to react to, but you can still react to the movement. Okay, no, he's just jumping. And look, all you did was stand there. Basically, all you did was stand there. And he was so afraid of your presence that he decided to go for this wacky, retreat to the entire opposite side of the stage. And now, if he's any other player who's reacting there, like, you're getting hit for that back air. You're not getting away with that back air. That back air is just too high risk. It's just an extreme call out. Once again, your F smash outranged. And finally, you get it. You're picking the right option, but it took you like 20 tries to get something that you should have gotten your first try. And what it took was you getting close enough for it to hit. Like, you're too afraid of getting close to him. Obviously, you don't want to be close up versus him, but you don't want to be far. You want to be, like I said, kind of mid-range. Alright. Here's again, you're running away again. Every time you run away, you let him do this. This is a habit he has. Like, Ninja pointed, like, he would fuck me up for dashback charge, shadow ball charge. Every time, like, so often, I would just be, like, whenever I didn't know what to do next, I run back and I charge shadow ball. And he would just fuck me up for it. Storm's doing the same thing. Whenever he doesn't know what to do, he just dashes back all the way to the side of the stage and starts doing thunder jolts. You could have run right behind him. He's going to react to you running all the way behind him. And he'll still run all the way and do a T-jolt anyways, because this is just a habit of his. But what you're doing when you run away is you give him, like, you make his options safer. You're making this T-jolt a threat. If you're like, oh, I guess I can't really show you when I say here because you don't see the mouse. But if you're like center stage and you like had art, if you full hopped before you jumped back, like you're already over that T-jolt, he's probably going to shield because he's afraid. And you can actually use like your landing fair on shield or leaf shield on shield and do some weird stuff. but now you've positioned yourself like so far away where like T-Jolt is actually a threat, whereas if you had jumped before it wouldn't really have been. And he's not as scared of being true punished because like he has more time before you get there, like you're farther away. And you have less, like, you might not be able to make it far enough to really leaf shield on his shield, like maybe in front, but not really on it. So he has more chance of being able to punish you for leaf shield. And it's going to be harder to space your fair because like you don't have a ton of time or space to like pull back. Like you're going to have to just full commit with fair. Basically exactly like that. Obviously he doesn't punish it in the way he could have because he loves the T-Jolt in bad situations. Or in good situations for him, I should say. I mean, he could have killed you right there. You set yourself up where, like, the elite Smash player would have F-Smashed, and it would have been the right option. But Storm was just too afraid to really go for it. Then it looks like you just didn't, like, refresh in time, because that forward air didn't really make any sense, and you died for it, so. Back to more committal options. Like, a big problem you're having is you're, like, literally just swinging. And not like swinging in the sense, like you're swinging when you shouldn't be swinging and you're not swinging when you should be. When you're close to him, when you have information on his options, those are the times when you should be swinging with those forwarders in the corner, maybe even an F smash in the corner. Or if he's in the corner, going in close, F smashing, prematurely back airing, stuff like that. He has tells for when he's going to pick some options like that dash back. But instead you're just hoping like, oh, hopefully he'll do Thunderbolts this time, when it doesn't make sense for him to. You're swinging with these super committal options when you don't have info, and not swinging with even like safe-ish options when you do have info. Like when you're running away in those options, in those scenarios because you're too afraid. Like you're swinging at the complete opposite times basically, but. And there you go, like you're in the corner, he's going to do back air, that hits you, maybe low profile, but that hits you if he holds out, but he never holds out, so you get it with punish. That was an easy punish, but you're just kind of throwing out moves. You're going to get hit for it. Same thing there, like you're scared, so you just kind of press a button. And it was down tilt. I don't really know what Storm's doing right now, but it was good on you to realize he was shielded and go for that a second ago. That wasn't bad. Obviously, you just mis-executed, so kind of high risk, but like that setup's a really good setup, so I think it was pretty good. And look at that. Look at that. What was he at? 71? 71. He's at ledge. You don't throw out anything too committal. You jump. You don't see what you're looking for. So you decide to just walk back, reset the situation. He's afraid because he's in the corner. You jump. You don't see what you're looking for again. And then you react. And, okay, you technically timed that wrong because he shielded and dropped shield. But don't worry about that. Point is, like, he was at 50 before you backed through him. And then you just stayed in the corner. Earlier, you would have run away there and just let him come and play neutral. It's like you're afraid of playing versus Pika in neutral, but you just let him play it because you don't stay in an advantage. You don't keep yourself in an advantage. You're so afraid of being reversal that you're like, okay, I'll play disadvantage, which is Mega Man's weakest spot. Instead of playing advantage versus Pikachu, you're playing neutral and disadvantage because every time you get advantage, you run away. And then when you don't, you kill him at 70. He's afraid of being in the corner. You just haven't been taking advantage of it. But he's afraid of the spots, and he's going to pick like wacky options that you can just react and kill him for. So now you're picking some better landing options. Look at him. That was the first time he did dash attack. But once again, like, He's messing up his spacing now. If we look at that interaction again. The same thing that we saw earlier, you know, him running right at you, basically. Oh, wait, this is a different one. Okay, so... Still hasn't really been doing the short hop stuff that much. He's just trying to go for these, you know, low percentage guesses. Trying to catch a bad landing, which you don't. You land smartly, and then you get a punish off it. Then you cover a bad recovery by him. Something that he's been gaining with too much. Okay, you get hit there because you're running away. Then you have a bad landing. Now we're losing some momentum. Now he's swinging in the same way that you were swinging, and it's not working out for him. Alright, we've seen this situation a billion times. He's likely going to land in shield, but it looks like you're going to be able to punish him for being too carefree with this, so good job there. Once again, I don't really like the use of rush there. Not because it's just Mega Man tech, but I think it's just smarter if you just like he burned his double jump off that on the interaction anyways. Like, he could have just waited and tried to punish him like a normal person. And then you got punished for it too, so. Right now, I feel like it's a lot of Storm messing up, to be honest. That was extremely bold of you. Not terrible, but just bold. But yeah, right now I feel like it's a lot of Storm messing up. Like, he's basically playing how you were playing earlier in the game. Like, I mean, I think there's a chance he'll just do like a full up aerial for no reason. Okay, he dashes back. Oh, what do we think this is? All right, class. Everyone, who wants to raise your hand? What do we think this is? Does anyone know what we've been reading about so far this game? Nicholas Capfield, is that you in the back? Do you wanna say what this is? Wow, what are the odds? Imagine you F smash right there. Just imagine. Like, let's take a moment. Let's just like envision a world where you saw that and you F smashed. It would be a pretty cool world, wouldn't it? Okay, moving on. I mean, that's okay too. That's what you should be doing in those mid-range situations. Look what he does. Like, you lemon him right in the face. It's not like you get punished for it. That middle blade is cringe, by the way. But he full hops and does more T-jolts. And then he gets antsy. You lemon in his face. You force him to pick an option. He gets antsy and he dash attacks and you win. Okay, you really do not got to be going all the way off here. And then Storm picked a really bad option. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, like, stuff like that, like, I know we only get to see it for this short period of time because, like, you kill him before 100. But stuff like not being afraid, like, you're staying close to him, you're not really running away, you know. Instead of, like, dashing back here and letting him have space, you're challenging him. And yes, of course it's a possibility he does stuff, but you need to know from what he's been doing, like, what he's likely, like, he's probably not going to do a full drift in, full hop forward air because he hasn't done one the entire game. You know, force him, you stuff him up for being too low to the ground, force him to pick an option, and you basically win for it. And it's just like the simple stuff like that, you know, like, you can't be afraid of his options. Like, you have counterplay for every single one of his options, even if it's scary. Like, you have counterplay. Mega Man has stuff that's gonna win in all these interactions. You just have to know, like, you have to understand the interactions and not just run away from them, because then you're putting yourself in disadvantage. So you're letting him win neutral without him even having to press a button, basically. He holds forward and wins neutral against you. And yeah, there you go. So I really think that was Storm's game to lose. I think he started playing really, really sloppily. You did do some stuff that was better by the end, for sure. But there were definitely some times where you started gaining momentum and then you lost it, and it's kind of the same handful of things. Ledge, really bad. Really good for Mega Man. You just blow a lot of opportunities there. obviously, like, you literally won the game off of, you know, reacting to his ledge option. When you struggle to kill, and storms in general, you'll pick really, really risky options. Just, like, not even guesses, like, hopes. Like, oh, I really hope he presses this button, because it would be so convenient for me. That's a really big thing. Rush Tech has his time and place. The 2 times he used it, I thought, like, he had already burned a lot of his resources, so I think you kind of burned, like, it wasn't really a big issue. I'm not going to say that, oh, you better use it better. But yeah, I think you did have some opportunities that you kind of threw away. The bigger thing, though, is just the corner, which is kind of similar to ledge, but a lot of times when you have people in the corner, you just run away, or kind of like a mix of what we already said. Like, you'll either run away, or you'll go for these huge committals, and then you get reversaled, or you blow it. And he just got so much off of you running away. You missed so many F smashes because he ran away. Oh no, we're not showing an ad. All right. Yeah, the running away was very tragic. And then just, like, some interactions, you know, like, you just, like, kind of weren't respecting, like, when we would be in the corner, and it's like, it's not necessarily bad on your part, it's just, like, situational unawareness, like, you don't have that situation in your mind, like, oh, like, what if I'm in the corner, and this character or player is running towards me, like, you just don't know what to do in the situation, so you're trying to, like, make up something on the spot, and, like, you're obviously not going to pick the optimal option like that, but I think the big things, ledge, corner, running away, well, I guess that's part of the corner, landings, I might have already said that, but that was a big way you lost on interactions. Yeah, I'd say ledge, corner, landings probably are the biggest things, and running away being part of the corner, and, like, giant committals. You do a lot of things that are pretty good, but, like, a lot of times it feels like you're playing so defensively. Like, you can use your lemons to, like, bait him to do certain things. You can use your movement and your options to, like, a lot of times when I saw you playing versus Ninja as Fox, like, you're legitimately going for these baits and these approaching mix-ups. But here it feels like you're so afraid of everything that, like, you're doing none of that. And you're just, like, trying to, like, hope that you guess what he's doing every single time. Instead of imposing your will on him, you're, like, hoping that you'll just get everything right. But yeah, so definitely, I think, honestly, like, I think if you just start to, like, get better at playing your game, like, getting in his head, like, doing what you usually do, you know, like, using your tools as baits, and that's a big fundamental thing. And then, like, obviously the other smaller things, like, not landing poorly, playing smarter at ledge, not doing these, which I think the better, you know, baiting and punishing will lead to you not doing these giant guesses as much. Be all that combined, and I think I could see you, like, doing really, really well in this matchup and just, like, getting it down. Right now there's so much easy stuff to clean up, so many interactions that you shouldn't be losing, so many times where you have opportunity to kill him before 100 and you just aren't recognizing it. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Guess this one was a bit longer than expected, but it technically was game 1, so I think that makes sense. All right, anyways, that's it. See ya.